Hey, it's me, Olivia again, professional model builder, here to teach you how to build some cool models. So today we're going to build kind of a variation on this cube that we made yesterday. Each session's going to get a little tougher, I think, as far as the design goes. So if you feel stuck, have your parents help you. So it's going to look something like this, and I actually have an example, one of these guys that I made earlier. It's going to look something like this. So a cube with this roof. This is called a gabled roof, and it kind of looks like the mountain folds we've been making. So in the description you have a link to this cutout right here. Looks pretty nice. And once again, you could print it single-sided or double-sided if you want the directions on the back. You don't need the back directions, but I find them pretty helpful. So if you can double-side print them, go ahead and do that. If you can't, or if you don't have a colored printer, we're going to go over how to make this now so I can help you out step by step through what you need to do. So let's get started. Like any process, all I really need are my scissors and some tape. But as always, if you want to have your favorite coloring tools like my pencils, my paints, my markers, my really thick, fat pencils for drawing, pull those out right now, because we're going to decorate this like we've decorated all of our other little cubes. And like I said, we're going to start building our little city. So, got my handy dandy scissors here, and like it says on the directions, the black line, which is our first step, it's going to be our cut line. So our cut line all along this outline. And it's the same on the back. This black line is your cut line. So let's get started. Doesn't have to be perfect, we're just trying to get close. And if you need help, just ask for it. Okay. You might have noticed that I am wearing my favorite shirt today. It has my name on it. My mom made this for me when I was a little kid for my birthday, and I still have it, and it was too big for me when she made it, so it still fits me today. Do you guys have any t-shirts or shirts that have your name on it? Maybe a necklace? Let me know. Okay, making our way around town. So sometimes it's hard to cut these little corner pieces right here, getting into there. Instead of cutting and then turning all the way around, I try to cut from this angle going down and then turn my page around and come back down from the top from this direction, and it's much easier to get that corner. Okay, there we go. It comes out really easily, and it's a nice sharp little corner. Okay, cut, cut. The tabs especially don't have to be done perfectly because we're going to fold those over, remember. And if you get stuck, slow down. Maybe print out another page and start again. Not a big deal. Okay. Coming along my straight edge. You can use these same tools to build a house that looks like your house. What does your house look like? Does it have a gabled roof like this? Is it more like a square? Does it have lots of doors or windows? Think about that. You can use paper and fold it into any shape you really want. So, almost there. looky here, you can see that there's a corner right here, but there's also a black line down here, so I'm gonna snip down into that corner as well. So don't forget this little guy right here. We're gonna need to fold it down. Okay, so you can see it's now in 2 pieces. Sometimes I forget that part. If you forget, just come back and do it again. Okay. Almost done. Great. So we have our completed little piece that's completely flat and unfolded. If you have thicker pieces of paper, printing it on that might be more helpful, but I'm just printing this on regular copier paper, and it works just as well. If you print it on thicker paper, it's a little easier to fold and assemble, but not entirely necessary. If you feel stuck, just ask a grown-up for help. Okay, so we got everything cut out. I'm not gonna throw this away. I don't like throwing away materials. I like reusing it if I can as much as possible. So I'm gonna set this off to the side, and if you remember from our cutout, and try to pull this out, you can see our directions. We have our black cut line, our mountain line, which is blue, our red valley line, and our green tab line. And if you're able to print this out in color, you can see those lines on your little cutout. So we have our blue outlines, which means a mountain fold. And if you listened to the video yesterday, I went over what that means. Now, think about what a mountain is shaped like, kind of pointy towards the top. So that means that a mountain fold in this case is just making a point towards the top. And that's how we're going to fold all of these lines. And a valley line, it does the exact opposite. A valley line is where we fold it to make a V, a valley. So think about that letter in your head, a V, which is a valley fold, and an upside V, which is a mountain fold. So we're gonna go over that now. The best way I like to fold for mountain folds is to actually flip this upside down. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to fold all of my tabs here first. Okay, so I'm gonna use this corner right here just to fold. I'm gonna tap it down just a little bit. There we go. I'm going to tap this fold down. There we go. Now you can see this is actually the tippy top of our roof here as we're folding down our tabs. Same thing on this other side right here. Okay. Now what I like to do a lot is think about stories about the models we build. So think about who this house is for. Is it for your mom? Is it for your pet? Is it for your teacher? Is it for your cousin? And that helps me make a little story around all of the models we build, all of these little homes. I've been doing this since I was a kid, and I loved making up stories for all of my little toys. Making up little houses for my bird toys, my Beanie Babies, if you guys still remember the originals. Keep folding my tabs. Okay, almost done. So more folds on this today. So I have all my fat tabs folded in like this. And now we have a lot of mountain folds to do on this exterior piece. So I'm gonna fold that in. And I'm using the corners of the paper to really guide where my fold is gonna land. So, okay. And notice that this line is a mountain fold But this line on the inside is a valley fold. So a mountain fold can be a valley fold. It just depends on your perspective. So from this side, I'm making a mountain, but from the other side, I'm making a valley. So mountain and valley, it just depends on how you look at it. They're both the same, and I hope that's not too complicated, but they both do the same thing as far as paper folding goes. And turn this over, fold it down, and then I have these last 3 folds. And this right here is going to be my roof. So if we loosely put this together, we can start seeing our little house, where this is our roof and this is our bottom piece. And you know what? I think this one has a bottom, but I don't think I want a bottom for this one. I want to cut the bottom out for myself. So I'm actually going to break the rules a little bit and snip this off. You can keep it if you want, but I think it'll be easier to do some cool stuff with this. So I have my little cutout piece here, and I could definitely decorate it before or after. I think I'm going to decorate it a little bit before. So I know that this right here is my roof, so I'm going to draw some shingles on it. I'm going to grab my colored pencil, and to make shingles, I'm just going to make some U's. And then the U's, they're going to overlap each other. And there's lots of different ways to make shingles. I just like doing it this way. So you can see I'm making U's right here. And they're overlapping, and they kind of look like shingles when we put our building together. You don't have to be perfect. My shingles are all over the place. They're all different sizes. You can color them in if you want. I think I'll leave it like this for now. So I know this is going to be the front of my house. And if you want to make this like your house, think about the front of your house. How many windows are on the front of your house? Are there 2 windows? I bet you there's probably a door too. So think about how you want to make the front of your house. It could be like your own house. It could be like an imaginary house. I know that on the front of my house, I have 4 windows. I have a door and a porch with another little gabled roof to support it. So this is kind of what the front of my house looks like. So you could continue decorating this, but let's leave it here for now and try to assemble it. So once again, I'm going to use double stick tape to pull this together. You could also use glue. You could also use single-sided tape. It just depends on what you prefer. I like double-sided tape because it means that I can take it apart if I make a mistake pretty easily. And it also means that I have seams that are on the inside of my building. So instead of having my seam on the outside of the building, I'm going to have it on the inside like this. So it makes cleaner edges. So I'm going to try to line up. You see this letter C right here? It's going to line up with our C tab. So the letters mean things. The letters C to C wants to go together. So hopefully that'll help you try to find how to put the pieces together. And I'm going to lightly press that together. And I have a few more tabs. So this tab is H, goes to H, and G, and this goes to G on the other side. So I'm sure a lot of you know your alphabets, but if you don't, you know, ask a parent, figure it out. It should be pretty easy. So, I'm going to use double-sided tape, and I'm actually going to tape it along this edge and this edge right here. Lots of ways to do this. You don't just have to put tape on your tabs. Okay, so now I'm going to gently press this E to E tab, and then this H to H tab. Okay. Perfect. Okay, and I still have some sticky tape left, but before I stick it to the G and F tab right here, I'm going to put some tape along this edge right here. Okay. Press that together. Press that together. Awesome. And now you can see I have a tab on the inside, and I'm going to press that up. So hopefully you can see that. So, okay, I got it. So now my tab is on the inside right here. And now I have my assembled little home with a roof and the sides. The reason I wanted to keep this open was because I wanted to cut in snip and a snip. I want to cut in a door. There we go. So now I have a little place to get in and out of. And behind the scenes, I made a whole lot of these homes, and I already decorated a few. Decorated this one, and let's try to decorate a few more. Okay, look at all of these. We're starting to make a little city. Think about the homes on your block if you live in the suburbs. How are they shaped, and how is the road shaped? You could start drawing in a road right here. Actually, let's try that out. I have all of my big paint sets right here. I have lots of different colors. Okay. So this is black, more or less, and I'm going to paint the road of mine black. Before I do that though, I'm going to pull out some of my other paints. I really like the color purple. Let's see what else we have in here. Ooh, I told you my favorite color is green, so let's pull out some green too. And I'll put this aside for now. Now remember, I have paper down on here, so I'm not painting on my table, I'm painting on the paper itself. So, let's see. I think, try to open this. It's a little tough. If you have a hard time opening your paint, have your parent help you. Ooh, what a cool color. It's not quite black, it's almost a little blue. So I'm going to use some scrap paper. You could also use a paper plate. I don't know, something else to put your paint on. Get creative. So I'm just putting a little paint on my paper. And while we're at it, why don't we put on some purple and green. Cool. Ooh, what a pretty color. I really like this color, it's so pretty. You probably need less paint than you think. So, If you don't have a paintbrush, you could also use your fingers, but I'm gonna use a paintbrush today. And I wanna think about how my houses are gonna be set up. So there has to be roads that reach all of the houses. So I'm gonna paint this thick road right here. And that's not enough. I need roads to reach all of my individual homes, don't I? And I'm going to do a circle at the end of this. It's called a roundabout. And I think I have a little water to do a little bit more painting. All right, nice roundabout. The water helps you smooth around your paint so you can use it more. And I'm gonna give it a nice crisp edge. So I still need roads to go to these individual houses. So I'm gonna paint in those roads. There's a road, there's a road, 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 road. And now we're planning out a little city. Awesome. So I'm gonna put this paintbrush aside. And let's say you don't have paintbrushes. Like I said, you could also use your fingers. But sometimes I like using, if I can get them, little Q-tips. Q-tips are great for painting. So I think I want to give this one a little paint job, and I'm going to stick it in my paint, and I think I'm going to give it little spots everywhere. So that's starting to look a little fun. You could also draw things like squiggles. Ooh, this is starting to look pretty cool. Okay, and I think for my green I'm going to use a different Q-tip. So cool. Wow, what a pretty house. I'm very excited. I love these colors. These are some of my favorite colors. What are your favorite colors? Nice. Why don't you paint your home your favorite colors if you have them? So, I have this really cool looking house now. I'm gonna put it right here. And now I planned out an entire little city. And I think I have a little car here. Now the paint's still wet, so I'm not gonna drive my car down it, but you can imagine, actually, ooh, maybe I will drive my car down it. It makes this really cool texture. Ask your parents if you can do this beforehand, but you can see this cool texture, like it's running through mud or something. So this is my little monster truck, and it's gonna go to each one of the individual homes. Whoa. This is really messing up the road. So to clean it off, you can just run it over your paper a little bit. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me today and learning how to build these cute little gabled roofs. And I hope you can join us tomorrow to build a little more complex of a building together. So I'll see you later for now. Bye.